All right,
Sure.
man, let's roll. Man, look, man, we're back on another episode of the Player Circle, man. I got a special guest, my guy, Eric Franco, man, one of the hardest working guys, man, that has turned himself into a savage at the linebacker position, man. I watched this guy grow from high school to college. Now he's doing his thing at UTPB. Man, I'm excited to have him on because he's gonna say something crazy. So y'all just be ready for that. But man, we're glad to have you on. Introduce yourself, man. Tell us something about you, man, and if we get rolling from there.
Yeah. My name's Eric Franco. Go to UTPB, play linebacker. Been here for 3 years, about to go into my senior year. So yeah, managing. I'm majoring in business management, and hopefully after I can become a firefighter. So that's the plan.
Ah, okay, man. All right, so look, so like I told you earlier, man, we in here, man, because we in here to share the experiences, to give insight on, for parents and for high school guys. Like, hey, man, look, this is what you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could go back in time, I would do this, knowing what I know now. So, look, tell us a little bit about your high school journey. I was able to be there for that. Your recruiting process when it came to that. How did the high school recruiting process work for you? What was your experience like?
All right. So for me, it was kind of different. So I was really just getting, offers from D3s, NAIs. They're all pretty expensive. But later, senior year, real late, like close to signing day, I got a PWO here, and it was D2. Solid facilities are super
Mm-hmm.
nice, and I was like, you know what, like I want to
Yeah.
play football. If I'm going to college, I got to play football somewhere. So
Right.
ended up coming here, lasted a summer, and I got put on scholarship.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, and what was that journey like, man? So, you see all those videos all the time, man, those videos of everybody getting a scholarship, the walk-on getting a scholarship. But I don't think a lot of people understand the work, the sacrifice, the time. Like, give some insight on that. Like, what do these kids who want to bet on themselves, what do these high school guys need to know that are walking on to these programs, man? What is the life really like? Like, how much does it suck? How good is it? What is the real life like of a walk-on? Then how is it? Then give me the life of what it's like as a scholarship player.
All right. So life of a walk on. Basically, I mean, so in high school, you're usually the best player on your team, everything like
Yeah.
that. But you come to college, everybody was that. Everybody was the best person on your team, and you got to reprove yourself. One of my coaches said that freshman year is the hardest year. Just cause. So for me, I redshirted. So it was just work, extra work, no play
Yeah.
time. It was just straight grind. So that was the hardest year. But he said once you get past that, it's easy. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So got that. And after the scholarship, I mean, it was the same thing, still a grind. I mean, because they're bringing in transfers to try to take people's spots, new
Yep.
walk-ons coming in, new
Yep.
freshmen coming in, trying to prove themselves. So I mean, it's really a dogfight, but you just gotta grind it out, really.
And then, so how do you deal with that, man? So, we could touch on that a little bit later on as far as the transfers and whatnot. But how do you deal with that, man? Like, you're a walk on, you're not getting the love from the coaches. You're basically a glorified practice body at that
Yeah,
at that point in time. Man, what is that like? Like, how do you fight through that? How did you earn your way to the scholarship?
I think a lot of it's mental because some
Mm.
guys are stubborn. They want to do their thing. They think they're the best. They're too
Yep.
good for scout team or whatever. But I mean, it's all in your head. So if you just like keep working past that, because I mean, none of the coaches are going to glorify you as a walk on, especially as a freshman. So you
No.
just got to look past that, keep doing your thing, put extra work in, because right now everybody's doing the same thing you are. So what are you going to
Yep.
do to get better than them? Outwork them every day. So how are you going to go 1-0 every day? That's what I always ask myself. How are you going
So
to
I
win the
love
day?
it,
Because
man.
a day you don't win is a day wasted. So
Yep. Okay. All right. All right. So let's get into it. See, now I love this perspective. So, all right. Everybody knows about the transfer portal. Everybody sees the transfer portal from the Ohio State perspective, Texas, whatever. All right. All the big D1 schools, right? So now you're going to a D2 school. You have guys transferring down a level. I want to know what it's like from a walk on perspective. All right. Guys are transferring down. You're already trying to make the team. All right.
mhm.
Now you got guys transferring in from a walk-on perspective. What is that like, man? When you see guys come in, you know that the coaches are intentionally trying to get you up out of there. Just
uh,
what is that experience like?
I mean, it's tough, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just another guy trying to take your spot. I like, everybody's trying to get that starting spot, but if
Yep.
a transfer comes in, they want him to play over you because you're the walk on. They brought him in.
Yeah.
They're giving him
Yeah.
special treatment, all this.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, it's still just another guy trying to, do his best. So you just got to compete and try to outwork him.
So then that leads me to this question: how do you stand out? All right, so I get this all the time, man. I get guys, a lot of my former guys hit me up that want to hit the transfer portal, this, that, and the other, and I ask them, I said, "Damn, have you done everything in your power to play?" You know what I mean? My job as a coach is to put the best guy out there, just point blank, period, right? But also at the same time, if I offered him a scholarship, he's the priority. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
So the question I would ask you, and what would you tell the guys who, may be in that walk-on position? How do you stand out? What do you do that makes yourself stand out, man? I'm already not being looked at. I'm already not being prioritized. How can I find myself in the same position as you, Franco, earning a scholarship? What did you do? What would you tell those guys?
Well, so for me, it's different. So I'm just like a role guy. I always do the right thing. Always do what I'm asked. No questions asked. Always put in extra work and
Yep.
improvement. I'd say the biggest thing is probably improvement because I mean, looking at me, I'm 5'9" on a good day with shoes on, 205. So I mean,
Yep.
linebacker,
Yep.
you would think a lot bigger, but they saw me come in. There's okay, it's another walk-on. It's gonna be a scout team guy. But
Yep.
as the year went on, put in extra work, kept improving, and later on they thought this guy could be actual a do for us. So
Yeah.
that's how you stand out.
So just consistent work then, and
Yeah,
eventually they'll notice. That's what you're saying.
yeah, consistent work and improvement.
Okay.
Because
Got it.
so many players have like God gifted talent, but a lot like when it comes down to it, work ethic and just like grit. That's what it comes down to.
Love it. So let me ask you this, man. So all right, so you transition out of high school. So out of high school, you're doing your thing. You transition to college. What is the college experience like? All right, so give it from a lifestyle perspective and from a college perspective, man. What is the college experience like, man? What are the things that make you successful? What are the possible pitfalls? What are those things that I need to look out for?
Okay. I would say my freshman year, I definitely struggled with the cafeteria for sure. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I mean I was eating good, basically what I was
Yeah.
saying. But
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I came in pretty small. Coach was like, you need to gain weight. I was okay. I was eating, until I was full every day. Went up
Yeah.
to 227, but I couldn't move really.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of my pitfalls. And then after I realized that, how to chill out on the food. But
I told y'all, man, he's gonna say y'all something crazy. Go ahead, man. Finish. Yeah.
yeah, but I would say another one's probably just like being on your own and like having your free because I mean you're just hit with all the freedom in the world. You can
Yep.
do whatever, but it's like what you do with your own time. The work you put in is the results you're gonna get out of it. So
Yep.
if you're in your bed 24/7, say you go to workouts in the morning and you're in your bed 24/7, you're just gonna be an average player. But say you go to workouts, do treatment, recover, hydrate, sleep, maybe put in some extra work at night, then you'll see the results that you want. You'll improve a lot more.
Man,
Like say,
what is like I tell everybody, man, I tell everybody that this is a business, especially now that y'all getting paid, like they got like the NIL stuff, all that. What's it like, man? What do they need to understand from the business perspective? All right, man. So what I mean by that is, that certain, like you said, certain guys are going to get the treatment. Certain guys are going to the scholarship guys are going to get the opportunity, the most opportunities to fail. So from the business perspective, being overlooked, the politics, whatever words you want to use, man, how do you navigate that?
what do you mean? Like,
It's as far as how do you handle the ups and downs? How do you handle the ups and downs of one day the coach per se loves you, the next day you're
oh,
at the
okay,
bottom of
okay.
the roster? How do you handle some like to use business, some like to use the word politics. How do you handle that?
So basically, like, I mean, like I said, it comes down to the mindset. So I mean, even coach says, it's a business. After
Yep.
so he's new, so he's trying to weed out all the kids who he doesn't
Mm.
think can play. He's messing with scholarships, raising them, lowering them, cutting them. But he says at the end of the day, it's a business, and
Yep.
he doesn't want you to take it personal, but you just gotta. It's really just in your head,
Mm-hmm.
like it's really just in your head. So, like one day it say he might not talk to you at all. Next day he might be all buddy buddy with you.
Yeah.
You just gotta. I mean, you just gotta like. I mean, it's really just in your head. That's all I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Okay, man. So, all right. So now, we get through it, man. You earned the scholarship. You know what I mean? What was that day like, and how has it changed? I don't want to say your status on the team, but how has it changed your perception and your confidence level? What was that day like, and what changed for you?
Oh, it was crazy. But so I got a call from the head coach,
Uh-huh.
and I mean, I never talked to the head coach, maybe my position coach, but never the head coach.
Yep. Yep.
So, you know, at first I was like, oh, dude. At first I was like having bad thoughts. I was like, maybe he's gonna tell me something, or I wasn't
Yep.
cut for it. But
Yep.
he gave me that scholarship, and I mean, I was hyped. And I mean, the thing that it did for my confidence, it's like they really want me here. They put me on money. They want me here. They see that I can play here. So I mean, let's roll.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did it change, man, when you walk into the building? Is it a
Oh,
different
dude,
kind of
it's
air,
like
man? Is it a different
my
kind?
confidence.
Tell
I
the
mean,
people, man, what's it like?
I really like. I try to not like get a big head or anything, but I mean,
Yeah.
it just feels good when when they want you there instead of just
Yeah.
like trying to be there on your own, trying to prove yourself.
That's the best thing in the world, man. There's nothing like being wanted, big dog. Nothing like
Mm-hmm.
being wanted. All right, man. So
Yeah.
let's get into that. Let's talk about adversity. I see people transferring all the time, left and right, correct? I see people wanting to bet on themselves all the time, right? And the biggest thing is like, man, when will you just fight for something? At some point, you're going to have to fight for a spot. Now, you've been through a lot of adverse situations. You've had injuries, man. You've had crazy injuries that you told me about.
Yeah.
You can get into them if you want to. And you've had opportunities where you feel yourself excelling, and then boom, it gets knocked down. How do you go about dealing with the adversity, man? What would you tell people? You can tell them the crazy stories if you want to, but how do you deal with it, and how does that apply to the game of football?
All right. So I've got injured a few times. Hurt my elbow. No, nothing crazy. Hurt my thumb. Had surgery. Nothing crazy. But
Yeah,
the biggest one most recently was my eye. Uh, had a big accident with my eye.
yeah.
I was out for like half a year. Uh, I was out that whole season actually. So
Mm-hmm.
then I came back in January. Got cleared to play. Had a good spring, but I mean, those 6 months were probably the hardest months of my life. Just like
Mm.
some ACL, torn muscle, broken bone. You can come back from it, but my eye, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to come back or not.
Yeah.
It was real uncertain. But I'd say the hardest thing is just like just having motivation for
Mm.
me. That was
Ooh.
really because like
Expand
I didn't know if I
expand
was
on
gonna be able
that.
to come
Yeah.
back or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Expand on that.
motivation was
Expand on
probably
that,
the
man.
hardest thing for me because I mean I would work out. This is before the spring, so in the off season I was working out, I was running and everything like that. But I'd obviously have those thoughts in my head like, like
Yeah.
what if I'm doing all this for nothing? I don't
Yeah.
even know if I'll be able to play football again.
Yep.
But thankfully in the spring I was all clear and went well.
Man. So now that you're back in football, all right, what lessons have you learned, or what lessons can you take away from that now? Because you got to play, the game kind of got stripped away from you. You had to fight. You had to, for lack of a better term, you had to fight the demons inside your head.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you play football at all, everybody has been there. Everybody knows that feeling. And so, what have you learned? What are those lessons that you could take away from that?
I would definitely say just like having the right attitude every day and discipline and habit because
Oh, okay.
every day you feel good, you feel bad, but regardless, you got to get done what you need to get done. And
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, no one's gonna feel sorry for you. No one cares about your feelings. You just got to get it
Nope.
done.
Nope. Love it, man. So, look, you talked about how you want to be a firefighter. All right.
Yes, sir.
And you coming up to the end of your college career. And so we just talked about the lesson that you learned from the injuries, man. What are the lessons that you could take away from football that are applied to the life of a firefighter? Like, man, that's the second act of the career you want to get into when you leave the game of football. What are those things that you learn on the football field, dealing with the injuries, dealing with the teammates, dealing with the personalities, all that stuff? How do you take that and how do you apply that into the next journey that you're trying to go on?
Oh, there's so many like morals and virtues that I've learned from football, but I'd say the main ones are probably like camaraderie, teamwork,
Yeah.
discipline, and just work ethic. Because I mean, firefighters, you know, it's obviously a different thing, but you still got the camaraderie. You still have, you know, your boys that you're gonna, you know, you're going into war with, basically. You know, going into fire, you know, risking your life to save other people. And I mean, that's like, it's just awesome to me. So
Yeah. And so, man, look, like, how has this is gonna be like the last kind of like introspective question I'm asking? Like, how has the game of football helped you? Like, you know, I watch. You know, you could. I know. I can tell I'm getting old now. Every time I talk to you, I'm like, damn, these jokers turned into men. Boy, look at that. And how has the game of football helped you? How has the game of football changed you? What have you? What has it forced you to learn about yourself? What would you say to that?
I'd say, you know, football is probably like the thing that I've gotten the most struggle with, or I've struggled with the most, just because like, you know, you'll be having a hard workout or you'll be trying to learn the plays and you're just like, you know, it's probably one of the most exhausting
Yeah,
things in my life I've
yeah,
ever had to do. But I mean, when you get to those moments, that's when you really see your true character and you know how you're gonna push through that.
right.
So like I said, discipline, grit, work ethic, those are like the biggest things it's helped me with. And you know, without football, you know, I wouldn't able to be pushed to my limit like that. I don't
Yep,
think so. I
yep,
mean, just seeing that like that different side of you, because when you're tired, when you're exhausted,
yeah,
brain's tired, body's tired, you know, you're not gonna think the same way when you're 100%. So
yep. You
I
find
think
out
it's
who the
definitely
real you is.
yeah. It
You,
showed me
you know the option.
it showed me different sides and it showed me how to improve. So
Man, well, shoot, man. Look, I love this, man. You know, one of the things I want to do, I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to talk to you. You know, of course, we got to make it quick because we got things that we have to do. But man, if you could go back in time, or let's say you're talking to a group of high school guys, they're getting ready to go out to college. Some are going to the big D1, some are going to the D2, some are going to the NAIA, some are walking on. What would be the one thing that you would tell people that they need to know getting ready to go into college? Like, hey, man, if there's anything that you remember from what I say, remember this one thing. What would you tell the players and parents?
I would say for the players to just reach out to coaches. You know, Twitter is like I don't know. It's like the messaging world for coaches. Follow
Yes. Yep.
coaches, uh, tweet at them, DM them, do whatever to get their attention. You know, even bother them. Send them 5 messages a day. Just
Yeah.
you know, get a response, get their relationship. Because I mean, at the end of the day, relationship with coaches is one of the biggest things, and do it when you're young too. I started when I was junior, senior,
Yep.
but when you're a freshman, sophomore, I mean, you know, that's the best way to start because you can start a relationship and just build up. And
Yep.
I would say another thing is probably just like extra work, extra
Yep.
work. Try to outwork everybody. I
Yep.
mean, if you don't have that mindset, then that's tough because in college everyone has that mindset to get the action work.
Love it, man. Love it. Well, shoot, man. I love the conversation, man. I love that you took the time out. I know that you got a lot going on, man. I appreciate it. That's another episode of the Player Circle. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, man. You got some value out of that. Make sure you really listen to what these guys are saying, man, because they're giving you real life experiences. Well, shoot, man. I appreciate you and look forward to talking to you next time.
Yes, sir. Likewise.